Next, we have Jada Reid, who is part of our YA fiction cohort.
Hi, my name is Jada. I use she, they pronouns. Just using a timer. My body against Mira's, a worn glove, ready to mold where it's most familiar. It isn't until she clears her throat that I feel it. Her body fidgets in a way it hasn't since she told me that she wanted to open things up. Are you happy is how it starts, and her sighing is how it ends, because it isn't like her to ask me a question, leaving me space to answer. She talks to fill in the gaps and spaces of all the words she does not want to hear from me. I miss when things were exciting, and I still love you. I just think that this could work if you come over less, and her statements stack into a deck of my own doubts. Every week we check in about how this poly stuff is going, but right now, all she can talk about is the word happiness. Have you been seeing anyone? I've lengthened my body and untangled our legs from an interlocking crescent. I'm my own moon, waiting for the sun to fall, to let me reveal the words underneath my craters and crooks, and before I can finish thinking, asking, wondering if I have anything else to say, she says, "It's not about that, I just don't know if," and I'm not cutting her off, but my brain is processing too slowly. I'm too busy wondering what it means to ask your partner if they are happy when I've done nothing to indicate that the opposite is true. Mira, I think I'm confused because I haven't seen you in weeks, and Illy, I think we should go on a break, have some space this summer. And I thought breaks were meant to be softer than breakups, but it isn't much different than when something cracks and shatters, both leaving you unable to figure out which fragments belong to which pieces. I cannot tell if it hurts more or less when there are more. I was 9 when my grandma taught me how to pray, how to press my soft palms into a mirror. She told me to bend over onto my knees and to thank God for all the ways I've been blessed and protected. When she died, I had no one to remind me to, no one to tell me to whisper between the crease of my palms, for God to translate my words into a happening. It's easier to love someone when you don't fully understand all they hold, which is why now when Grandpa goes to church and doesn't bother to ask if I want to come, I stay home and try to forget what it is like to pretend and make my grandma proud. Amira and I met when we were 7. My legs were crossed under the warmth of the sun, and I was picking at the shoots of grass as Grandpa plucked the weeds. I tried to help, but wasn't sinking my fingers deep enough into the dirt. My grandpa told me that the weeds, which would grow back and choke the sunflowers he planted, had to be plucked from the root. Amira's family had just moved into the apartment complex across from my family's old house and Grandpa's newly mowed lawn. And as soon as she stepped up out into her daddy's white pickup truck, her pink suitcase missing a wheel, I knew that she would be my son. 6 days later, we had our first sleepover, and her daddy and my grandpa talking about their flowers, and my grandma sitting by herself knitting, wondering what we were up into in the basement. My first kiss was not with Amira, but with her brother. The only person that knows this is her. Do you like girls? In between chewing her PB&J and downing her chocolate milk, 2 things she ate while I, my grilled cheese. We were 12, mood swings pulsing, and we spent every waking moment together, talking, wondering, and asking about everything under the stars. This question, though, hadn't came up. I had never thought about it. You don't? My last bite was sitting on the corner of my plate, and as Mira reached for it, without asking for the last bite, she tells me, "I'm not sure, but I think I like you." Thank you.